what you said was, me being female, and I went, oh, my darling girl, how awesome are you? Me being female, how easy would it be for me to get in third gear? Okay, now, what's awesome about what you just said is that's the truth for you. And you honored us with the truth for you. So you go, girl. The first thing is, we have a belief in our society, and we have been socialized to believe that all women are full of raging emotions, and we can't possibly take a breath without an emotion. That is how we were raised. That you've heard that every single day of your life. Okay, so that would be a distinction that's been made for you. That you would. Why wouldn't you believe it was true? Your parents told you that. Your school told you that. Your church told you that. Your community told you that. That's the truth. Okay, how many women in here take a breath without an emotion? I just want hands. Who takes a breath without an emotion? Wow. Okay, remember? How many F's? This might be 7 F's. That might be 6 F's. Okay? So, first things first, it's possible that some of us don't take a breath without an emotion. Now, I really don't take a breath without an emotion. That's how I'm hardwired. Okay? And I also used to work with someone who didn't have an emotion for weeks. And it was a woman. She was like, I don't actually really need them. I'm doing good. Thank you very much. Okay. That's not my planet. So we had to figure out how we could, interact on a planet that had both of us. So number one, that's one possibility. That's your first gear. Second thing is, you can choose, and this is what I had to do. I had to choose to step back from my emotions, which is what makes third gear such a powerful strategy. Okay? So something happens and I'm like, whoa! Oh, look at me, the powerful presence, trainer and coach, having a nutty. That's not good. Let's see if we can step back. Because I actually have to walk my talk. Now, the thing that's cool about this is that I don't have a life any different than anybody else's. I just have distinctions, structures, and strategies that help me do things I didn't know how to do when I ran away from home. So I would offer one recommendation, and that is, find some woman that you know, that you kind of like, who might help you, and ask her, because this is called role models, ask her, bye, thank you so much, and ask her, you look like you take a breath without an emotion. Could you tell me how you do it? Because it's a strategy to take a breath without an emotion. My strategy, which I will offer you freely since you asked the question, and everybody's thinking, how the heck does she do it? Here's a strategy for everybody, is I stop and I breathe. Okay? I just stop, like I'm going, wait, see those hands out there, Maya? Step back, put your hands down. It's really funny. I try not to do it in public unless I'm speaking, but, in real life, it's a behavioral thing in third gear. Okay, so it's a behavioral thing, and it's a strategy I can do in third gear. Right? Now, one of the things that I wrote about in the book, You Only Have Power Over You, that just came out recently. In other words, this strategy I just realized that I was using, but I had never named it. Sometimes you just have to get to neutral. It's not on this handout because, it's above and beyond, but you asked the question, so I have to bring it in, right? Sometimes I just have to get to neutral. Now, if you know how to drive a standard car, you know that you can get into neutral in your car, right? So the whole gears things comes out of learning to drive on a stick shift. When you're in neutral, there's a couple things you do, and this is your body. NLP teaches us that when you change your physiology, you change your emotions. Anybody else? Okay, that's why we slam doors. It just feels so, I feel so much better. I changed it. Okay, so one of the things you can do if you don't want to slam the door is, okay, imagine that you're driving a car, you can put it into neutral. So a couple of things happen. Number one is you take your foot off the gas. Sometimes I'll be standing and I'll just go like that. Just take your foot off the gas. And then it's so silly, you go, okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Sometimes you have to put your foot on the clutch and make that gear shift. So I actually go like this, and go like this. And if you really want to work it, you can go like this to pull the emergency brake. Now, it's silly. It's actually silly. And you know what? It's so silly, you start laughing and you change your state, and then your brain works again, and the emotion isn't suffocated. Does that help? Awesome question. You should get a free book, don't you think? Yes, you should. All right.
Who is that?
This is her name is Ashley.
Ashley. Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So how are we doing? Oh my goodness. So that was a great question. I will stay. I will not leave till all your questions are asked. And I want to point you to the second page. Now, yes, I'm brilliant. Yes, I'm having a lovely time. Yes, this is wonderful. And you know what? Everything I just told you is irrelevant unless you do something with it. So it's not me, now it's you, okay? So, one thing at the top of the page, the most important thing I want to remember about the gears, just write one thing. So when you look at this and it's in your desk under a pile of things, you go, what was it? Oh yeah, I remember that. Just write it down, one thing, even if it's just a word.